mylifepowercoach.com, that's where you'll really see the basis of everything that I'm going to talk about, because that's how I help clients. Nothing really matters at all. I keep the main thing, take care of my clients. That's first and foremost. This is great. This is progression, building a little, podcast, webcast studio in my gym. It's just the next level. It's just the next portion of me growing the business. But I started this with nothing. I started this absolutely organic. It just was an idea in my head, popped in. I said, screw it. I saw other people who I felt were less qualified or not as talented, or they didn't have the background or the experience that I have. Dude, I don't care if we make mistakes. You can make all the noise. You know what I mean? It's just, here's the thing. What Life Power is really all about progress, and a baby doesn't come out of the womb ready to walk, right? So it stumbles, it falls, it bumps his head. There's going to be a shitload of mistakes on this podcast. And I'm going to be honest with you, I can't wait to look them over and grow from them. That's why I didn't want to script anything here. I know we're giving ourselves 30 minutes to kind of get this so hopefully I don't lose your attention out there. But I want to do this organically. I want to do this completely raw, completely natural. I expect mistakes, but at the end of the day, my goal is that somebody watching this learns something, grows from it in some sort of way. My ultimate goal with Life Power is actually to help people. Easter morning, we could sit here and say it's Easter, it's a new beginning. That's what Easter stands for. But it's also April Fool's Day, so where are we going to go with that? I mean, is it going to be a complete joke and a complete flopping on my face? Hey, if it is, it won't be the first time that I failed, but I'll guarantee you I'll get back up. And that's what I want to get across. That's the message I want to get across today with people, is that success doesn't come without failure. If anything, the more you fail, the more successful you'll be, because if you learn from your failures, then you can grow from those failures. And it's in those growing moments that I feel that success really blossoms. And it doesn't come without pain. It doesn't come without its bumps and bruises. But you know what? A lot of people have been following my page for the last 4 or 5 years. At the end of July, August of 2013, when I started Life Power. And so some of these people may be new to Life Power. They might have just came. You don't even know much about Life Power, So I kind of like that you don't know much about what Life Power is, because it gives me an opportunity to talk to you and talk to whoever's out there watching in a manner of, hey, let me tell you who I am. Let me tell you what Life Power really is. And, you could sit here and say maybe in 20 years and Life Power is global and it's international, and I'm interviewing Oprah Winfrey, Jennifer Lopez, somebody, famous, Will Smith, whoever, I don't care. You could sit there and be like, man, I remember when that dude just started. And that's my goal. My goal is not to come out of the box. Well, let's put it this way. If it happens, great. 1 million downloads. Hey, that guy's, kind of cool. Whatever. Great. If I get one download, because I guarantee I'll get one download, I'll download it myself. So we'll start there. Sink or swim. You however it goes. But day one or one day. And here, you're experienced with, I'm talking to a guy I just met, really phenomenal guy. His name is Sretan. How do you pronounce your last name, Sretan? You can go ahead and speak it.
Jovanovic.
Or
Jovanovic.
Really cool Serbian. Hey, Nem, Klejek, that I appreciate the hookup with Sretan. I got to give Sretan a nickname because that's a really hard name to keep on pronouncing, Sreten. But anyway, it helps me because he's got experience in this. I'm a fish out of water. I have no idea what I'm doing right now, but I'm throwing it all against the wall. I'll learn from it. I'll grow from it. And that's all Life Power is. Built a business from scratch, built it at my most broken time in my life. I was going in between jobs. I was working at the steel mill, swing shift. It was causing sleep deprivation. I was completely, like, not depressed, like I was sad and throwing a pity party. I was messed up in the head. And so what ended up happening was I took a job with a friend of mine that I thought he promised me and my wife the world. You'll make this, you'll make that. And unfortunately, I fell flat on my face. I made $500 in the first 6 weeks. I had a daughter that was just over a year old. Couldn't make it like that, and I felt embarrassed. And actually, one day I came home from working midnights. I was in tears. Dude, my ears were ringing. I was pretty fucked up in the head. Sorry if it's Easter, but get over it. I cuss. This is just who I naturally am. But my wife was standing at the top of the stairs, and I said, I can't do it. I can't go back to that job. And she just had this look in her face like she saw a ghost. Like she didn't know what to respond, how to respond. And she just looks at me dead in my eyes and she goes, we'll figure it out. Don't go back. And I swear to God, I never went back. That day, I never went back. Didn't have a backup plan. Didn't, my wife, I know she's in Mexico right now. I'm going to go pick them up at the airport, but maybe she'll watch this. People that know me, my life revolves around my wife and my kids. But that day, outside of the day that she committed to marry me, and that was probably the most special day of my life. But that day that she told me that she had my back and that we were going to get through it, I'll never forget. That's probably the most precious day in my life. Even it's more precious than the day of my children being born. You can't replace that either. But that day that my wife told me that she had my back, that's where I just said, you know what? I can't fail now. This lady's allowing me to do something that's risky for the family. And we haven't looked back, to be honest with you. Like I said, I started this business from scratch. We trained people in the grass at Wicker Park in Hammond. Sometimes we would use the playgrounds as some of the equipment in the playground. You can basically make anything a piece of exercise. I can use a 4x6 square piece of grass and train you there. If you see me sweating, it's because I just finished working out. But we started there. The weather changed. We started training people in my garage. From there, we rented out space at a gym that was nearby. It was a bodybuilding gym. So I was a fish out of water. They thought what I was doing was gimmicky. And can you see this? It looks like it's dropping, right?
It's dropping.
Yeah. So it was a different kind of a gym. But what I do, got 30 years of experience of sports, performance exercise, powerlifting, strength training. I've squatted 725 pounds. Bench press over 400, deadlift over 550 or 580, I think was my PR. Playing basketball, I had a 41-inch vertical jump, so it was almost 4 feet off the ground. I mean, that was like my calling card on the basketball court. And from there, just kept on pushing. I've been a personal trainer since 1991. My first personal training experience was at Bally's Total Fitness in Calumet City. I trained at Quad's Gym in Calumet City. It was famous for Ed Cohen. He's known as the world's greatest powerlifter according to Muscle and Fitness magazine. If you look at a lot of powerlifting websites and things like that, he's considered the GOAT, the greatest of all time. Really super down-to-earth guy. When you got that kind of a guy critiquing your form or giving you tips, you listen. And so for anybody that doesn't know me in that arena, I mean, granted, I'm 47, so that was close to 28, 29, 30 years ago when I actually started lifting, and I got lucky. I don't know if, now I could look back at it, I think that, the stars aligned, because those guys, there were professional athletes. Rodney Harrison that played NFL, he was there. I worked out with him a few times. And those guys looked out for me. They put their arm, basically took the little kid under their arm. They saw a kid eager to learn, wanting to grow, willing to work his ass off. But they kept me out of the drug scene. They kept me away from steroids and any of those. And there was performance-enhancing drugs way back then too. But I'm grateful for that education, and that's actually where I learned how to actually train. Unfortunately, in most of these global gyms, these box gyms, things like that, people are afraid of, it's just like common society. It's not what it used to be. Everybody's got to be politically correct, or you can't do this, you can't do that. As a matter of fact, when I started Life Power, people were telling me, like, man, you can't do that. You can't talk like that. And I said, well, shit, if I'm going to run my own business, I'm going to talk how I want. Otherwise, I might as well go get a job and work under a human resources department, right?
Put on a suit.
Yeah, fuck, dude. Trust me, the last time I took off my tie, I swore, oh my God, I swore I never would wear another tie. And I'm sorry if I come to your wedding or your special event, I'm not wearing a tie. I think of that thing as a noose. I don't care if Life Power ever becomes a global phenomenon, I'm not wearing a goddamn tie. Trust me, I'm not wearing a tie. But you know what? That's the whole point. We, talking to Sretton today, talking yesterday, we did a podcast and it wasn't comfortable. I was half asleep on my ass. I couldn't function. And I felt like it bombed. And it's fine because that was our second time trying it. The first one went good. This one didn't go so great. And I said, well, why am I hiding behind my mistakes? That's why I wanted to do this live. I want to do this, podcast number 1. Just do it. Throw it against the wall. Hey, let them see me fail. I'm not coming out here trying to be perfect. And so Life Power was never built on being perfect. It's built on progressive achievement. And if that's taken one step at a time, if that's one client at a time, that's exactly how I built the business. True story. When every dollar I spent for the first 3.5 years, every single dollar went back into the business. A new piece of equipment. Not for me, because if you were my client, I wanted to give you a better experience. I wanted you, instead of just doing push-ups and burpees and squats, no, I wanted to show you, hey, let's do box jumps. Hey, I bought a rig so you could do pull-ups and all of that. Let's go buy some weights. Let's go buy some bumper plates so you could do power cleans and presses. Hey, dude, I had nothing to lose. I was suicidal. Once you hit suicidal thoughts, there's the rest of the world is all peaches and cream. You got nothing to lose. And so if anybody's out there watching this and they're thinking about, should I do this or should I do that? Should I take the jump, right? I'm afraid of, man, I've always wanted to, pursue my dreams. Well, just jump, because you're going to fall anyway. Might as well fall doing something you love. And that's, I could get emotional. I'm actually getting emotional thinking about it because it's been a very rough journey to get to this point. But I took a chance. I think the genius thing that I did at this point, this business has been valued at over $1 million, from scratch, dude. I got 4 little metal plyometric boxes in there. It's been valued over $1 million. I'm doing what I love. I get to bring my family to work with me. I get to make my own schedule. I don't have to ask a boss or beg for a boss to get a vacation day. I don't have to wait until, I get enough seniority. And I'll never take that for granted. I don't abuse it. But it always goes back to the main thing being the main thing, and that's taking care of my clients. I got to take care of my clients. Bottom line, podcast, $1 million business, the success stories. If you look at Facebook, if you look at the pictures, if you look at the website, again, I'm going to say it, mylifepowercoach.com. That's what it's all about, those people. And everything that I'm talking about here is what those people get. When they come in and we do a consultation, a day 1 consultation, that's me getting to know who they are. If a personal trainer does not get to know who you are, if he doesn't know your background and how you got to where you're at right now, and if he doesn't know where you really want to go, you need to run away from that gym. If somebody just literally just takes your money without getting any background information on you, you need to run, because that person's there for a profit, and there's nothing wrong. I make money. It's a living. It's a capitalism, right? I got to make a living doing what I'm doing. I charge what I charge because I'm valuable at it, and I have no shame in charging what I charge. You can't afford it. I'm sorry. That's not my fault, but I'm not going to lower and diminish my standards or what my quality is. I suggest you get a better job. Sorry. I'm here to help people. I'm not here to insult anyone. But the truth is that there are people with less that are doing more, and they can accomplish more. And when you start realizing that every single adult, okay, kids, I kind of take kids out of this equation because unfortunately kids can be victims, okay? And sometimes those kids grow up into adults who are victims. But when you become older, especially now with the internet, you got everything at your hands. You can find a way out of any dire, dark space in your life if you really want it. That's where it all boils down to. It's all about the desire. And so when I take on a client, I got to make sure that those people who are going to come into my environment, come into my gym, they're not going to fuck it up. I charge for a consultation. Currently, it's $80. Originally, I used to do consultations for free. Went up to $25, $45, $60, just like anything. There you go, progression. Okay, people are willing to pay it. People pay my fees because I'm worth it. But that's you coming into the gym as day 1, right? You reach a point where enough is enough. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Well, then I'm your guy. Because as long as you're still settling for less, and if you're still making excuses for where you're at, then what I'm going to hit you with, you're not going to like it, and you're not going to agree with it. So don't come see me if that's your situation. And the consultation is really an interview. It really is. But it's not just an interview for me to see if you're, it's an interview both ways. Do you really want to waste your money or spend your money on me? Do you want to be around me for 3 hours a week? Do I want to be around you for 3 hours a week? Will you enhance my business or will you tear it down? Are you going to bring your bullshit excuses in here, or are you going to come in here ready to wipe the slate clean day one? Hey, this guy knows what he's doing. This guy has accomplished a lot. This guy has helped my friends. Look at all these people. That's it. Again, it always goes back to the client. If I help those clients, then I can grow the business. I'm not helping Lewis. I'm protecting Lewis. I'm protecting Lewis's business, but I'm also protecting you as a client when you come in, because you don't need somebody coming in here and being an ass in front of you or taking away from your experience here. So besides my knowledge, besides my experience, I got off track. I was talking about squatting and all of that. I've done 6 marathons. I've done 4 Ironman triathlons. That's where you swim 2.5 miles, you bike ride 112 miles, and then you run a marathon afterward. But so going back to the point of the consultation, the protecting the environment, is you're coming in, you want to change. I'm the guy to help you change, but I can't help you change. I can't make that change for you. You have to make that change yourself, and you have to be really willing to do it. Trust me, when I charge fees for consultation, first of all, when I make you schedule a consultation, that's me asking you to jump through a hoop. Shit, I just want to train. Why do I got to go talk with you? Because I'm protecting my environment. I'm making sure you're a good fit and I'm a good fit for you. Now I'm charging you for a consultation. Shit, man, for $80? Well, I could go up the street to CrossFit. I can go up and do a boot camp. I can join Planet Fitness for 6 months, $10 a month, right? Or eight months. And that's what you're going to charge me just to come and sit down and talk with me? Yep, because I'm worth it. And the pictures show it. Then I take you through a workout. It is based on you. It's challenging you at your level. It's a baseline test. I just need to know where your level's at, where your entry level position is at. But even that little baseline entry workout, people are getting a kick in the teeth. They're like, holy shit, I've never worked out like this. And all I did was challenge them to be their best. That's it. That's all my baseline test is. Challenge you to be your best, see exactly where you're at, physically as well as mentally and emotionally. You pass through all those hoops, you're a good fit for me, I'm a good fit for you, then welcome into my environment. The environment here is just as crucial as I am. The people around here, they all have the same starting point. We all build each other up. It's kind of cool because they call it family. And I've had a rough time with my own personal family. I grew up, I thought my dad hated me, things like that. So to have a family in here in this environment, it's pretty cool. And especially when you consider that I started it from scratch with nothing, dude, with nothing. It was all up here. I just said, screw it, threw it against the wall. Whatever happens, whatever grows, it grows. And now this is where we're at. We're growing, still growing. From training people in the grass to a 4,500 square foot facility. We have looked at buying land and building a 10,000 square foot facility. It's hard. It's not that easy. You don't want to grow too fast, and you don't want to grow without having the right infrastructure. But it's been a blessing. It hasn't come without its share of ups and downs. Some people that I thought were friends showed me that they weren't. A lot of people want to see you fail. They smile in your face, but they don't want to, they want to see you succeed, but not more than them. And it is what it is. I love it. I love the process. And that's my goal in the gym, is to teach success principles, the same success principles that I practice personally. I practice them in my family. I practice them physically myself. You don't go out and do a 140-mile race on a whim. You have to train for that mentally as well. I think it's even more mental than it is physical. But the same way that I grew the business from scratch, I try to take a fresh client who's coming in, again, Easter, day one. Is it, you have to ask yourself the question, it's day one or one day? How many times do you say, one day I'm going to do this, one day I'll do this? Well, fuck that. Today's one day, day one. Make up your mind, you do it, and you fail, you learn from those failures, you keep growing. But that's what I do with the client. So you come in, you're out of shape, life got in the way, soccer mom, here, let me throw this out at you. This podcast, hey guys, please, honestly, listen to this. This is not your Jillian Michaels Biggest Loser podcast. I'm fuck fitness the way you guys know it. I seriously, the way you understand fitness, you can forget that when you walk in the door, because real fitness starts internally. It starts with your health, but also your mental and emotional health. And that body is nothing more than a reflection of your mental and emotional health. Your nervous system, your brain, your spine, the nerve endings, the signals that the way you process information, your body's going to reflect it. And so most people that are out there, they're probably listening, they come in, they think they're fat, and really they're inflamed from stress. You're not as fucked up as you think you are, because I can guarantee you this. I started this business thinking I was going to do strength training for runners and triathletes. I had a background in strength, and I was doing endurance sports, the marathons and Ironman stuff. And I was like, you know what? This is when I was at the steel mill. And I said, I don't want to work that extra overtime. I'd rather be at home training and so I started doing strength training for people. But when I started doing that consultation and sitting down with people and getting to know who they were, I said, damn, you know what? There's a lot of fucked up people in this world. I'm not alone. I never ran around telling people I'm suicidal. That's not the cool thing to talk about. Seriously, right? And it wasn't until I was sitting with people and realizing, like, holy shit, man, I thought I was just going to write a workout on the wall and tell people to do it. And, I started studying suicide and depression, and it's 1 out of 4 people are depressed. I mean, that's a big, big number, man. That's a huge number. And so think about that. Next time you guys are having Easter dinner today, 1 out of 4. You might have 20 people in the house. That means 5 of you possibly have depression. And we don't go running around and telling that. And so, yeah, this might have started off like an idea to avoid working overtime. I'm not a meathead. I've never been a meathead. I started thinking I was going to train people for running and triathlon. And then as I sat down, I said, man, this lady needs some help. This guy needs some help. And then I started sharing my story with those people. And when I shared my story, like I'm doing it here, publicly, however many views this thing gets, but publicly, now, hey, guess what? I took the stigma off of me. That suicidal, that depression stuff doesn't have power over me anymore, because I got bigger. I got strong enough to face it and deal with it head on. And so now that I could talk to you and I can relate to your sadness or your depression, my husband or my wife isn't having sex with me anymore. Did he really just say that on Facebook Live? Yeah, because that's the real fucking truth, man. Because there's a lot of people out there who put on this happy face on Facebook and they're not coming clean with themselves. Some people can't even bend over and tie their shoes. But I'm healthy, right? Because the doctor gave me a clean bill of health. He released me to exercise. No, you're not fucking healthy. You can't run away from a dog that's going to bite you. You can't beat that dog off of your kid that's mauling your kid to death. You can't run away from a guy who's trying to rob you or rape you. No, you're not fucking healthy. So my point is we got to get back to the real problem with people. It's not that they're not willing to work out hard. Everybody's jumping around like a chicken with their head cut off. High intensity exercises, CrossFit, marathons, 5Ks. The fitness industry is ridiculously booming. P90X, insanity videos. Everybody's got a gym around the corner. Why are people still fat, overweight, obese? It's crazy. Because they're missing the main part here. They're not dealing with the darkness that's on the inside. Clean up that darkness, the fat will naturally leave your body. Your body does not want to be fat. Trust me. Obesity is not normal. Body fat is normal, but obesity is not. Body fat cushions your brain and your organs and your joints. Fat helps you transport the vitamins through your blood to where they need to go. Fat is not a bad word. Body fat, excess body fat, is not necessarily. But we live in a day where we're warm. It's a little crappy outside, right? It gets too hot. Let's cool off. Go inside in the air conditioning. It's too cold. Let's turn on the heat. We've learned how to be comfortable, but we forgot how to work. And you're just talking about in the last 100 years, what is it, the Industrial Revolution, things like that. But people used to garden, When I first started, part of my training, part of my basis of being a coach, when I was young, like I said, I trained around professional athletes and things like that. I got to see what a pro athlete trains like, and it's much different than the kid at the gym with a beach body trying to, get abs. Pro athletes train for a purpose. So that was the basis for me. If my training doesn't reflect progress, if I'm not working towards something, then it just doesn't do a lot for me personally. Vanity, I get it, looking good, feeling good, but if it's not making me better in some way, then I'm too old for that shit, to be honest with you. If you're in your 20s and watching this, hey, have at it. I get it. I'm going to promote the hell out of your picture. You look good. But for me personally, I learned at an early age that fitness was so much more than looks. And there's a guy, he used to work out at Bally's. I can't remember his name. He was 65, 66 at the time. And I remember in a gym where there's a lot of big guys, right? And we used to go in there, and I talked to this guy all the time. I would always talk to the guy, hey, what are you doing? You're at 66, 67 years old. I'm coming into the gym with the perspective of a beach body. What are you doing here? Your beach body's long time ago. And so I would learn from those guys. Why is this guy still doing this? I got a couple of Serbian. You're Serbian, so I got a couple of Serbian neighbors. And they said out there, this guy, they're in their 90s, all right? Still shovel their snow, hand, no power, no snow blower, still cut their own grass. They still grow their food in the garden. And you wonder why they're still living at 90 and still able to walk. That's real health and fitness. The gardening. Can you pull out, you ever pull out a bush out of a ground? It ain't the easiest work, If you're a construction worker, if you're a construction worker, if you're a landscaper, man, unless you don't need Life Power, man. Don't come and see me. You're strong, you're fit, you're actually healthy. If you're trying to impress, Facebook, then yeah, go get your, order your steroids over the internet or something, or go to the gym that's known for it. And you guys can keep all of that, man. My market, you know who I'm talking to today? I'm not talking to the fitness industry that's in their 20s. There was an article. How much time we got? Where are we at? What time?
27.
27? Okay, I'm going to wrap this up because I want to try to keep this around 30.
Mm-hmm.
But what part was I at?
You were talking about an article that just came out.
10 or 20 most influential people in the fitness industry. I think that like 90% of them were under 27 years old. What the fuck do they know about health and fitness? I'm 47. I got rheumatoid arthritis. I ache bad, dude. Bad. I'm laying in bed in pain. What can that kid who's got all of his joints, functionalities, running around, I get it, veins, muscles, big booty girls, whatever, fake tits, whatever, I get it. That's what the media keeps shoving down your throat as to what is health and fitness. That ain't health and fitness. Tell me how at 47 years old, how to move better with my rheumatoid arthritis. Tell the soccer mom how, having a baby and stretch marks and extra loose skin is okay to still be a mom. Those are tiger stripes. Those are not something to be ashamed of. We work with them. Yes, my business revolves around transformation. But you could ask any client that I've ever trained. I've never made them feel bad for how they look. If anything, I tell them on day one when they come in for the consultation, the way you are is good enough. The problem you have is that you're ungrateful for what you have. 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 eyes, 2 ears, but you want to worry about body fat. So on this Easter morning, we will do more of these podcasts. I hope this one went a lot better than yesterday's, a little bit smoother. But we're gonna wrap it up. You want to know more? Stay tuning in. I'm not gonna always do these Facebook Live. It's just that I don't have the camera set up, and we're gonna get it together. And Sretton is love the guy. Seriously, he's Can I go ahead and shout you out, man?
Sure.
Green Door Network. He's looking for people to do podcasts. He operates out of my gym. We're building my studio here. If you want to know the basis of everything, if you want to know, let's put it this way. If you want to hate on what I'm doing, if you think that I'm full of shit for everything that I said, go check out mylifepowercoach.com or check out this Facebook page, click on the photos, and tell me that I don't know what the hell I'm doing, because I get better results than Nutrisystem, Weight Watchers, or any damn trainer in this area, period. I'm not ashamed. We could put my results up against your results. I'll put my 1 month results up against other gyms for their last 3 years. How's that? That's a lot of balls, right? Hey, on that note, hey, I appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully you guys download. Sretan's going to put it all together for me, and somewhere here in the next week. Is it a week or so?
Yeah, about a week.
About a week. So once iTunes allows us to put it all up, you can download this podcast, but it'll always be here. And day one or one day, today I made a choice, and whether it went right or wrong, it is what it is. We're going to grow from it. I'll get better. I'll talk better. I'll have better topics. I won't get off topic as much. And hopefully we entertained you today, and hopefully somebody out there, at least one person, I helped you. So thank you for watching. Appreciate it.